Hi friends, this is Krish the Urban Naxal. Friends, you heard me saying time and again, very often, repeatedly, that under construction property is a intrinsically dangerous thing. It is not a good instrument of investment. It is not something that is safe to buy. I say it repeatedly. People keep coming back to me, they say, Krish, which builder is safe? Which builder can I go to, from whom it is safe to buy, etc. Again, my answer is no builder is safe. It is not safe to buy from any builder, and so on. Nevertheless, the idea doesn't percolate. It's a very difficult idea to sell because you see under construction property everywhere. You don't see ready possession. Under construction is being advertised, under construction is being actively promoted. People are phoning you, people are selling to you, whether you have shown any interest in property or not. If you make just one inquiry of one project one time, you try to download their brochure. First of all, they say, okay, download brochure. So you will say, okay, I want to download the brochure of so and so property. You click on download brochure, they will ask you for your name, email ID, phone number and everything. Once you have done that, that name is going to be sold for, you will be shocked to hear figures, but even lakhs of rupees. You are considered a lead and a hot lead if you do it for the first time. And some broker somewhere is going to pay a lakh of rupees for your contact. And that guy calls you and he says, sir, do you want this, and so on. Now, even after you said no or maybe or whatever, and you've seen one property and you don't like it, it will keep on coming back. Calls will keep on coming from different projects. They will keep on calling you and saying, sir, are you interested? Sir, are you interested? It's not a thing that stops. Why is that? Because your name is being sold. Now, when there is that much of persuasive pressure, that many people calling you, this project, that project, sir, in this place, that location, you will generally get the feeling that the only thing happening today is under construction. Ready possession, no one is promoting it, it is not visible to you. That does not mean it is not there, but it is not visible to you. So when something is not visible to you, you are assuming it is not there. It is not being actively promoted, therefore it is not being sold in such frequency. Therefore, under construction seems to be your default for if you want to purchase a property. The thing that I have been saying is it is intrinsically dangerous. Now again people come back saying, Krish, this property is RERA approved. There is a government body approving the RERA, the projects, under construction projects. It's a government body for approving under construction projects. How can under construction be risky? Let me give you an example of how it can be risky. Suppose there is a body called Charas Regulatory Authority. Now I am going to give you more examples. Charas, Ganja Regulatory Authority. Suppose you do that. Does it mean it is safe to take charas or ganja? I think most people who are not charsi will probably say yes. The reason you will say is, Krish, it entraps you into a lifestyle, it makes you an addict, it will then make you want to steal money and so on and so forth, all kind of behaviors that come from drug addiction. Correct? Now suppose there is an authority for ensuring that charas is going to be pure, that you will get pure charas, you will not get unadulterated charas. You will get what you pay for. Okay, if you pay for 10 grams of charas, you should get 10 grams, you should not get 9.5 grams. Suppose there is a charas regulatory authority, does it make charas safe? The answer is no. Let me give you another example. Prostitution. Unsafe activity. Why unsafe activity? It has so many emotional consequences for both the parties involved, for the prostitute as well as for her customer. Those emotional consequences themselves are quite toxic. They make you devalue yourself as a human being. There are a whole bunch of things I can say about that activity on the emotional level, on the mental level. But even if you go away from the emotional and mental level and go to the purely physical level, still a very dangerous activity. Why? Well, for one thing, you can get STDs, sexually transmitted diseases like gonorrhea and syphilis and herpes. Some of these are incurable. They'll just keep coming back, herpes being one of them. Some of them are dangerous, they are life threatening, like AIDS. Now suppose you say you are going to set up, suppose government sets up a prostitution regulatory authority, RERA. Okay. Now, will that make the activity of prostitution safer? The answer is no, it cannot. Why? Now it may say you shall wear a condom, you will not be allowed to enter a room before you pass your dick in front of a machine that makes sure that you worn the condom and the condom is perfect and it is tested and you are regularly tested for AIDS and herpes and hepatitis and all the rest of that. A doctor will take a look up, will check up before and after you enter and before you enter and after you leave and so on and so forth. So regulating an intrinsically dangerous product or service, putting a government regulator there does make it safer, but it does not remove the inherent risks, the actual risks which are there, which are part and parcel of the activity. Those risks will not be taken away. They may be moderated. They may be reduced. They may be cut down to 1 in 2 or 1 in 3. You may cut it down to, from 100% risk to 25% risk. So 75% they have removed the risk, but that 25% remains. Now what is that 25%? I am going to tell you. These are things which cannot be removed. Number 1, who are you, the customer? And number 2, who are they, the builders or promoters? And number 3, what is the relationship between you and the builders and promoters? So let us talk about these 3 aspects. First of all, who are you, the customer? So there are different types of customer, but I am going to talk to you as if you are one particular type of customer, which is you are middle class. If you lose 20-30 lakh rupees, it is going to very severely hurt you because your life savings may be that much or less. If there is a loan disbursal of 30 lakh rupees, repaying that 30 lakh rupees will be a matter of at least 5-10 years, maybe more. But that is the kind of demographic I am looking at. Now, if you are the kind of chap who says I am daily earning 2-3 lakh rupees, there are people like that. Doctors, surgeons. A surgeon performs 2-3 operations, he gets 1.5 lakh rupees daily. Not a problem. A doctor with a consulting room, each consultation costs 3,000-4,000 rupees. He gets 100 customers, that's 4 lakh rupees. So, if that is your demographic, then please invest in Godrej, Lodha, wherever you want, all under construction possibilities, and you may take large amount of risk because you are the kind of customer who has a huge risk appetite. You are looking for places to put your money. You are money in search of a destination. That is your profile. You are a very high net worth individual and very high cash flow individual. Another kind of customer I will say is a hotelier. Huge amount of cash flow, huge amount of money. He might be earning in crores every month. So if you are a hotelier, if you are a film actor, by all means, every one of these things which I call risky is relatively safe for you. If I say there is a 30% risk, you will say, yeah, but it's 70% safe, right? I'll put my money there. That's fine. That is okay. So this is the equivalent of a guy, if he has 100 children, well, he can send his children to undertake highly risky tasks. No problem. Maybe 2 or 3 will die, maybe 5 will die. It's okay. He doesn't mind. He can form a private army. He can send them out like goons. Okay, 2-3 jail में जाएंगे, 2-3 लड़ मरेंगे, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? What's the difference? If this is the attitude, then absolutely go for it. Now, assuming you are not from that demographic, assuming you are the kind of guy who's earning maybe at most 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh rupees per month, and it's your life savings. I mean, you have a tough time saving up a certain amount of money, maybe 50 lakhs, 1 crore rupees. Sometimes it is the effort of a few years, sometimes it is the effort of a few decades, and sometimes it's the effort of several generations, not just one. Your father, maybe your grandfather, they have saved up, and then you are able to use that amount of money. If that is your profile, or sometimes you may not have it, but then you are still buying it. You are still investing in a property worth 50, 70 lakhs in the hopes that you will manage to save up, whereas your entire life savings are in the range of 5, 10 lakhs, or not even that much. If that is your profile, then the lower you are in that scale, the less savings you got, the more risk you are exposed to. Why? See, the lower down you are in this scale, it means that money has greater and greater value for you. Accumulated money has greater and greater survival value for you. So if someone holds up 5 lakh rupees which belong to you, a builder holds it up for 2-3 years and then returns it to you. In that 2-3 years, all kind of things can happen. Relatives can die of illness and you may not have enough money for hospitalization. You may end up taking personal loans at a very high interest rate and getting into debt deeper and deeper. In your desperation, sometimes you may take up a job which may not suit you. So, if you are the kind of guy who's typically working at a 1 lakh or 1.5 lakh rupees salary, and then suddenly you have to drop down to, let us say, 80,000 rupees, because you lost a job and you could not wait long enough to get another job, because you had so much pressure of EMIs. That is a very real life risk. So, under construction exposes you to these life risks. What is under construction if you look at it from an overview? An overview of it tells you that it is money upfront, big money paid upfront for a promise which is vague, which is general in nature, which is changing in nature. That is your under construction property. Your builder says, listen, I can change this, I can change that. He is vague. He says, this is one RERA project, but I may join another and it will expand and it can expand and it's a township. He can say, I'm not just selling you a flat, I'm selling you a flat, but you are also a member of the building cooperative society, which is okay. You are also a member of the federation, which consists of, let us say, 10 buildings in which your society stands, which is okay. And then you are a member of a township, and the township is going to impose rules on you, and it's going to impose fees on you, penalties, amounts to be paid. So this is an intrinsically non-defined kind of an item. And he says, I might increase the height of the tower. It is now 25 stories, it can go up to 50 stories. I can increase the height of the tower. Now, increasing the height of the tower changes many things. It makes your flat intrinsically more unsafe. There are more things to go wrong. The same lifts will take 2 or 3 times as much. If your wait for a lift used to be 3 minutes or 6 minutes, it will go up to 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So it changes the character, it changes the dimension of whatever it is that you are buying, whatever under construction property you are buying. And what you are buying is a promise. Now, it is also intrinsically risky because, as I said, there are 3 sides to it. One is who are you, another is who is the builder, and third is what is your transaction. Who are you? You are a human being who is under continuous stress, who is being distracted by WhatsApp messages, who is unable to keep to a schedule which is a tight schedule of payment. You are unable to honor a tight schedule of payment because, well, your cash flow changes, or you have slipped up and your attention span changed. You forgot to make that payment in time. You forgot to send that check in time. or you came under pressure of someone else and paid that money to him and now you haven't paid that check to the builder, or you failed to pay an EMI and then you entered into a dispute and started arguing about the interest rate or something like that. So these are all risk factors coming at your end. Okay. A middle class person is intrinsically disadvantaged when it comes to doing things according to a schedule, and that to a very tight, strict schedule. If he slips on that schedule, he will be penalized, he'll be paying interest, he'll be paying administrative charges, he'll be paying check bounce charges. He may potentially lose the flat because the builder says I can cancel the agreement. So that is, all risks are coming from your side. Now let's talk about risks coming from builder side. Who is the builder? The builder is typically someone who says he is a group company. So there is the name of a company. The name of a company may be very vague and it will say yes, but this is a Rustamji company or this is a Lodha company, etc., etc. Just because it says it is a Shapurji Palonji company does not necessarily mean Shapurji Palonji is deeply involved in it. It can be called a Shapurji Palonji company. You take a look at it, you don't see their name in any of the directors. You will see their email ID, you will see their office address. It is a group company. A group company does not mean that Shapurji Palonji is directly liable. They may have distanced themselves through several financial methods. They may have entered into partnerships with A and B and C and X and Y and Z. There may be several types of partnerships. There are joint ventures. There is direct partnership. There is participation in an LLP, limited liability partnership. There may be a collaboration between two different LLPs. There may be a area sharing arrangement with the landowner. That is also a partnership. There may be a revenue sharing arrangement with the landowner. Another kind of partnership. There may be various other authorities involved. It's not just RERA. It could be SRA. There are other cooperative societies involved. So Slum Rehabilitation Authority, they will have certain demands on this. They will exert certain forces on your property, which is under construction. You are in the sale component, but they will exert a lot of forces. There are a lot of things coming out of that. So a builder is typically someone who has entered into various kinds of agreements and arrangements, business transactions with multiple parties, with regulatory authorities, other cooperative societies and other corporates, landowners, etc., financiers, etc., banks, etc. It's a very complicated deal. That builder entity itself may have multiple number of people. Each one of them may be a separate human being with a separate temperament, and you don't know what it is. What is his deal with the other guy? You don't know how temperamental or how dangerous or how safe that guy is. You have no idea. So a lot of risk arises from these guys. Let me give you an example. I'll give you an example of a Godrej property which I reviewed. Within themselves, there were 3 agreements with different Godrej entities. So there is an LLP company which floats the property, which floats the project. It is the promoter of the project. It gives this project to another Godrej company, Godrej Properties, and says Godrej Properties is now the project manager. Why is this? Why is the first one the promoter if the second one is the project manager? Well, they say that is the arrangement. They have also involved a Singapore entity. The Singapore entity is licensing the first company to use the name Godrej. Now you wonder, is that guy only using the name Godrej or is he really Godrej? How much Godrej is he? Because the Singapore entity is giving him a license, therefore he is paying a license fee to the Singapore entity. You don't know how much that license fee is, but it is an imaginary, invisible thing, the ability to use the brand Godrej. So you really start wondering, what the hell is going on? Am I dealing with Godrej? And you should wonder. It is intrinsically dangerous. Now, does it mean these guys are crooks? No. They are not crooks. Each and every one of them is basically a gentleman. If within these human beings, I'm not talking about the companies, but the human beings running the companies, each and every gentleman running that company is probably a gentleman. Okay? He is going to, regardless of whether he is at the lower levels of management or middle management or top management. The top management guy knows what's going on, but he says, yeah, that's okay, it's allowed. If it's allowed by the laws of the land, it's legal. If it's allowed by international law, it's legal. So they together have come together to create a very vague, vast, unnecessarily complicated structure of a network of relationships. Now the problem with this, what you will say, Krish, so many corporates involved, what is the problem? I'll tell you what's the problem. The problem is, who the hell is actually in charge of giving you your flat? You will say the promoter. Yes, but the promoter may say, oh, but this guy failed, therefore I could not give you the flat. Moreover, if you have a superb agreement, very nicely drafted in your favor, which is usually not the case, but let me assume this for the sake of a devil's advocate stance, you have a wonderful agreement and you have drafted, your lawyer has drafted it, and each and every clause of it is in your favor. And now if they fail to deliver, if they fail to give you your flat, or if they give you a flat which is in poor quality, or any other thing, any other issues, and you go to RERA or High Court and etc., and you have the best lawyers available, again not likely, as a flat buyer you will usually have third-rate lawyers because you can't afford the good lawyers. The builder will afford the good lawyers. You have the third-rate lawyers, but let's assume you have the best lawyers available. Even then, to get an order in your favor is probably going to be the work of 6 months or a year, maybe more, maybe 2 years. For 2 years you will struggle for what? What is basically your right under the agreement. After 2 years you will get, what you will get? You will get an order asking them to give you what is already there in your agreement. After that, if they don't implement it, well, if you don't implement it, then again you go to court and say contempt of court, file contempt proceedings, another 1 or 2 years of fighting. My whole point is, they have given you a promise, you are giving them money up front, you are a creditor, they are treating you like a beggar and a debtor. Okay? As per the current agreement that you are about to sign, if you are going to buy under construction, you are like a beggar. You look at the kind of clauses that are there in the agreement. Under these circumstances, why would anyone think that this is a sound investment or a sound purchase? It is not. It is intrinsically terribly unsound. I am Krish, the Urban Naxal. Jai Maharashtra, Jai Hind, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.